What are the Hegemons of the Black Grail? It begins with a strange and oddly beautiful chanting. A chorus of songs and plague hymns ring out throughout the air from the ruined mouths of the servants of the cult of the Black Grail, calling out in praise to Beelzebub. The very air around them thickens, difficult to breathe. The tar-like air will fill the lungs of any nearby. You would find it easier to breathe in the mud of the Levant than to breathe in this putrid, fetid air. Vast swarms of flies, as thick and as impenetrable as the veil of the darkest night, block out the skies and gather into vast and ominous shapes and symbols in the sky. The sky itself becomes the roiling, pulsating mass of a vast abscess, and bolts of diseased blood lash out at the putrefied ground. Thousands, if not millions, of innocents are sacrificed in the ritual. When the Black Grail's grip on the land has swelled to a power and strength such as this, many thralls, amalgams, heralds, and other such puppet creatures of the Grail's foul will begin to march to this ritual point, drawn by the call of Beelzebub. The bodies of the sacrificed are cut open, their entrails used to create a vast and intricate mandala upon the ritual grounds. The chanting processions of Beelzebub's horrors will congregate upon the great and inscrutable sigils of the mandala, their bodies, holding trapped and tortured mortals in their blighted form, begin to melt and meld together into a rotting mass of colossal scale. As the last dregs of the Grail's victims melt away into the bubbling, squirming tumor on the fabric of creation, the metamorphosis begins. If this process is not halted, this cocoon of rot and ruin not destroyed by holy fire, then a great and terrible evil will befall the lands of the faithful. After 13 days, crowned by the swarms of Beelzebub's winged children, an armored titan 100 feet in height will claw its way into the world. Thus comes a nightmare to walk upon the earth. The most terrifying threat posed by the Black Grail is not its foul and poisonous miasma, nor its disease flies, or the living zombified hordes of the half-dead warbands. This creature, this titan of disease and plague, true herald of the Lord of the Flies and host of Beelzebub's ascendant and horrific will, is his most horrific tool of vengeance upon Yahweh and enact his plans to befoul creation. Thus arises a Grail Hegemon. Possessing a power far surpassing any other servant of the Black Grail, they are even capable of forcing the will of Beelzebub upon the graves and morgues of the land. Even death cannot offer an escape from the Hegemon's grip and Beelzebub's insidious will. A Grail Hegemon is a being of such power it may lay waste to whole battalions, battle lines, tank columns, and fortifications, gifted as it is with a loathsome, twisted genius and the wisdom and power of a fallen angel. The Church, the faithful, and all of creation lives in fear of the rise of such a being. Since the beginning of the war, thankfully only 2 Hegemon have ever risen, and both have been slain at great and terrible cost to the faithful. The corpse wars raged throughout Europe, and the thrones of the faithful nations trembled at the footfalls of the Hegemon Yersinia Rex. This first appearance of the Hegemon was finally ended in 1429 when the living Saint Joan of Arc slew the foul being and drove the Black Grail from mainland Europe. The second Hegemon, Thebris, the bride of Beelzebub, was slain by the paladin Engalir. The paladin went forth to duel the creature, but while he was able to land a fatal blow, he himself was cast down in the attempt. Such is the terrible power of a Grail Hegemon that it even takes the considerable effort of saintly beings and vast armies or holy paladins to bring them low. Each one is a unique creation that when ascendant, heralds its own specialized strain of the Black Grail. When killed, Beelzebub judges its strain of the Black Grail as a failure and exiles its surviving servants from the Black City of Ekron, along with casting them out from the Order of the Fly. These exiled failures wander the Levant without direction, hated by other servants of the Black Grail, robbed of their connection to Beelzebub, and aimless without their hegemon. They are forever cursed. Beelzebub bestows upon them a great and unending sense of loss and mourning. This plunges them into the depths of despair no mortal could ever comprehend. The strain of the Black Grail that the Hegemons had bestowed upon their servants still spreads and corrupts the living, and creates thralls and lesser Grail entities. But the warbands of the Black Grail that once followed a slain Hegemon are led by Plague Knights, as their Lord of Tumors was slain long ago, and the strain is no longer worthy of creating more and being gifted with the divine connection to Beelzebub that such a being has. They are even unable to create amalgams, crucial as they are in the formation of a hegemon. The eyes of the Plague Knights constantly weep tar-like blood, the darkness of their tears only matched by the unimaginable void left in the wake of their severed connection to Beelzebub. These sobbing creatures mourn the loss of their dreams of the plague-ridden paradise of a world forever consumed in rot. Hated by members of the Order of the Fly and their Black Grail warbands, these exiles will find no allies in the Levant and are attacked by all, regardless of any allegiances or connections to a rival Black Grail warband they may have once had under the Hegemon. The only servants of a Hegemon known to have escaped this curse of exile were the missionaries of the Black Grail that served Yersinia Rex during the Corpse Wars. Breaching the cordons, these surviving members of Yersinia's army evaded the exhausted armies of the faithful and set their blades to the task of conquest and the rise of a new and terrible servant of Beelzebub. And there we have the story of the Hegemons of the Black Grail. Would you like to see such a terrible power rise once more in service to the Lord of Flies? Let me know in the comments below, and if you'd like to learn about the missionaries of the Black Grail and the horrors they unleashed in the wake of the Corpse Wars, click the video link to your left. Alternatively, click the video link to your right to discover the mysterious creatures of the Temple of Metamorphosis. To support the channel, please consider a like, subscribe, or sharing a favourite video with a friend. To gain exclusive access to my upcoming podcast episodes, the first of which will feature none other than Thomas Piernan before anyone else, join the channel as a member, where you can also enter our exclusive Discord. For discounts on your hobby supplies, check out my affiliate links in the description below, and thank you for watching. I'll see you all soon.